Welcome, everyone, to the 2024 Annual Employment Empowerment event hosted by the DeBruce Foundation. We appreciate you taking time out of your day to join us. Before we jump in, just a few quick housekeeping notes. Everyone has been muted upon joining. However, we encourage active participation through the chat. Please feel free to ask questions, share comments, and engage with each other over the next hour. After the event, you will receive an email with the resources that have been shared at today's webinar. With that covered, I will hand it to today's host, Executive Director and COO of the DeBruce Foundation, Dr. Leigh Taylor-Knight.
Thank you. Happy National Career Development Month. We are excited to have you here with us today at our annual event. As you know, at the DeBruce Foundation, we are committed to expanding career pathways to economic growth and opportunity. And that's why we couldn't miss the opportunity to actually convene all of you across the nation today in order to be able to capitalize on the good work that you are already doing and share more resources. Yes, the panelists, the experts that we have with us today all have fully funded, that's free resources for you to be able to help those who are expanding their career pathways. At the end of this hour, you are going to have the opportunity to learn more about those resources and their availability to you. I got so excited looking at the list of those of you who would be here today. I saw on that list many of you who have been partners with us for years championing this work. And then I saw some of you that we've never met before. So we'd like to start off with a little video about the DeBruce Foundation to familiarize you with our foundation. The DeBruce Foundation believes everyone deserves hope and opportunity. We're committed to expanding career pathways. We're changing the way people pursue their careers in terms of how they explore, plan, and prepare for jobs of the future. To do that, we are strategically investing in research, tools, and resources, like the Agile Work Profiler and Career Explorer tools, helping people learn more about who they are, what they're good at, and what they like to do. We partner with organizations that inspire individuals with guidance and resources, giving them hope in their future. We are working towards a tomorrow where everyone can see and lean into the paths that will help them achieve their goals. Join us, because together we can expand career pathways for everyone. At the DeBruce Foundation, we are developing career literacy resources that are based on rigorous research that we've been conducting. Over the last 5 years, using with participants of over more than 40,000 who are representative of individuals across the nation, we have found consistently that there are 2 key factors to individuals being employment empowered. I want to share those key factors with you because you are key to helping be able to develop those in others. They are career literacy and network strength. Let's start with what career literacy is. Career literacy is having a vision for one's career, having a self-awareness of the skills that we do well and that we like to do, and having the capacity to actually communicate our value in the career marketplace, plus job search skills. Today, you're going to see some of our partners have some excellent tools to help you with job search skills. And you're also going to hear how, starting at our very youngest ages, we're helping develop the opportunity for people to have the confidence and the capacity to explore multiple career pathways. Career literacy plus network strength is what helps people be employment empowered. Network strength is a collection of individuals, those individuals who are both from diverse backgrounds as well as have deep relationships with us. So they're folks that maybe come from different educational backgrounds than ours, different social experiences than we have had, maybe even different sectors than we have had. And it is that combination of career literacy and network strength that leads us to individuals being employment empowered. Our employment empowered framework has found that the individuals who have both career literacy and network strength actually make more in annual saving in annual earnings, like $48,000 more. They're more likely to be able to accumulate savings. They have more confidence to explore multiple careers, which is extremely important, we know, as we go into the future of work. And careers will be different, but we need them to have that confidence. Again, today our panelists are going to start with sharing with you how we can start to develop that at the earliest of ages and the compounding effect of that so that individuals have that higher annual salary and that they have lower risk of unemployment across their lifetime. We found, as we said, that starting sooner actually matters, which is why we've done quite a bit of research, and you'll hear from panelists today about what's happening on that youth end of things. For instance, we have found in our research that career literacy tools like the Agile Work Profiler, which has now been used more than 250,000 times across the United States, is a tool that can help individuals find what they like to do and what they do well. Jessica will share today about how agilities matter with students in classrooms. We also know that they matter for adults. In addition, to our employment empowerment research, we've done research with youth to try to uncover what's happening with them. Angie's going to talk too about the ASA work on this youth front and the research that has been happening, knowing that we released last year how to talk with youth about careers. We've got to start talking with them earlier. We know that you who are with us today, you care about this. You're doing it every day. And that's why you're here to learn more about that. So we want to keep serving up the ways that the research is bolstering what you are doing and helping our youth. Recently, just in this last month with ASA, their Teen Voice platform, we surveyed another 600 youth to just kind of look at what is their confidence level and how much do they know about preparing for careers. Would it surprise you to know that 2 out of 3 are thinking about or know about their future career? They've got confidence. 60% are thinking about them and wanting to know about their future careers. And almost 8 out of 10, yes, 78% are somewhat or very confident about their career choice. And yet, there is a disconnect because they don't really know how to do it. What the research shows that still half of them need career literacy. 49% have little or no idea about how to prepare for that next step on their career. And 51% are considering 2 or few careers. Now, you might ask yourself, is that a problem? 2 or fewer careers? Well, considering they're probably going to have 7, 10, 12 careers across their lifetime, yeah, we really need to help them expand their career pathways and think about that. All of this information is what has led us to convene today and to put in front of you these experts from national organizations and a school district that are engaging in this work and doing it and have fully funded resources to actually help you. So allow me to share with you that our agenda today will be hearing a little bit from each of our panelists, and then we'll have a question and answer session. We also have a special surprise for you that each of the panelists have brought a small video clip with them today so that you'll actually get to see their work in action. I'm so pleased and honored today to have with us Angie Castera, who is the Chief People Officer from American Student Assistance, Kirstin DiQuollo, who is the co-executive producer at Fred Rogers Productions. We also have with us Jessica Asbury, who leads the real world learning efforts in Piper School District here in Piper, Kansas, and Jylon Hollinshed, who is our Agilities ambassador. You are really going to love what he has to show you today. I'm pretty sure he's going to steal the show. But with all of that, allow me to kick it over to a video from Fred Rogers Productions, and then right on to Kirstin, who is the co-executive director of Don Quixote with Fred Rogers Productions. Take it away with that video.
Hi, neighbor.
I want to show you something. This is gonna be amazing.
All aboard, trolley!
Can't argue with that. Sweet. Do you want to make believe with me?
Yes, definitely. Amazing.
Muchas gracias.
The future is fascinating.
Yeah, it sure is.
We found a way for everyone to play. I gotta think about this. Think, Don Quixote, think.
When we see something that isn't fair, we try to do something about it.
Oh, I know what to do.
We are going to keep trying, buddy.
I like the sound of that. Ugga mugga.
Hello, everyone. My name is Kirstin DiQuollo. I'm co-executive producer of the series Don Quixote at Fred Rogers Productions. You'll probably hear me referring to Fred Rogers Productions as FRP as I talk. So when I say FRP, please know that that's what it means. I want to thank Leigh and the DeBruce Foundation for having me here today. This is an amazing event, and I am really excited to share more with all of you about what we do at FRP. And at FRP, our mission is to build on the legacy of Fred Rogers, somebody you might know, by creating quality children's media that models an enthusiasm for learning. And we believe that it's never too early for kids to discover the fun of following their curiosity and learning meaningful life skills along the way. So we do this through creating television series, interactive games, short form video series, community and educator outreach and events, and so much more. And through all of that, we carry on Fred Rogers' pioneering spirit, really, of exploring how technology can reach and engage kids and families, because that's what he did decades ago when he created Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood and used TV to help spread all of that messaging. And we are doing that and moving it forward in every way we can now. But today, I'm going to talk a little bit more about Don Quixote, which is the series that I work on. Don Quixote, you saw it in the sizzle reel, is our latest series featuring reimagined characters from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And the first series that featured those types of characters was Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood, an animated series. You saw it in the sizzle reel. I'm guessing many of you were familiar with it. But Don Quixote is our latest. It premiered a few years ago, and it's a live action puppet series for preschoolers on PBS Kids. And it's inspired by the quirky, funny side of Fred Rogers, an often overlooked part of Fred Rogers, I think. You can actually see him here on this slide with the original Don Quixote puppet. The original Don Quixote is reimagined in our series as Grampy Quixote, who's that sort of bluish gray donkey toward the bottom. But I'll get into that a little bit. We're also very importantly focused on taking inspiration from Fred Rogers' mission to help kids navigate the frustrations and challenges of childhood. On Don Quixote, we do that with humor, joy, and music, and all of that drives our storytelling. So our show features a little yellow donkey. There she is. She's got big dreams. She lives in the whimsical world of someplace else, which is also a world Fred Rogers created on Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood. And each day, Don Quixote sets out with a big goal. And it could be anything like, I'm going to make lemonade out of this giant lemon, or I'm going to climb to the top of Mount really high up. And for every goal she sets, she brings her friends along for the ride. And you can see some of them here: Purple Panda, Bob Dog, Duck Duck. They're her best pals. They each bring something different to the storytelling and to our cast. Donkey also has trusted grown-ups who are by her side: her Grampy Quixote, who you see there, the original Don Quixote, and Harriet Elizabeth Cow, who is also a reimagined character from Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood, along with Purple Panda and Bob Dog. But Donkey's goals aren't always easy to achieve. Our series focuses on themes of resilience, perseverance, and problem solving. We model managing big feelings, managing thinking, and managing behavior to reach goals. And so, like, Donkey is our model for all of this. She sets big goals. She often does not achieve them on the first try. She has a setback. When she does, she thinks about ways to solve her problem. She'll often ask for help if she needs it, which is a lesson she has learned and something we know is very key to resilience. And then she'll try again. And all of this helps build her confidence. And very importantly, she does not always reach her goal by the end of every episode, because we model failure as much as we model success, because failure is a huge stepping stone to resilience and understanding what it means to help build your confidence and keep going. We work with child development experts to craft not only the overall learning approach to our series, but also every single episode and story you see. So they're with us every step of the way. And when we started, set out to create Don Quixote, we worked with our advisors to land on these themes of resilience, perseverance, and problem solving, because they have told us that when you talk to parents about what they want and need for their children right now, they often cite those three things. Resilience in particular is a coveted skill, and the thing that I love most about it is that it's something that can be taught and learned. It can be a muscle. As start school. In addition to working with advisors, we also do research with our audience, of course, with children, with parents and families at home. We want to make sure that they're understanding and taking away the key messages of the series. So let me tell you a little bit more about those key messages. On this slide, you're just seeing an example of a few that we feature on the show over the course of almost 80 episodes. We center every story around what we call a core message, and these are examples. Problem solving. And are 5 years old, when children are discovering their independence, when they're having to solve problems without a grown-up necessarily around. So these I statements help foster that independence and build those skills. So I can change my plan. It's okay to ask for help if I need it. It's the characters discovering this on their own as the stories unfold, and often with some help. I know that we're here today to talk about expanding career pathways. So the beauty of Don Quixote and all of our series at Fred Rogers Productions is that the life lessons we model are timeless. They're timely. They help children build a foundation for future growth and success. And Donkey and our pals and the grown-ups around them are those models for success in school and life. And I know, just speaking of careers, that as a producer, I've used a lot of these core messages when things get tough. I can do hard things. It's okay to change my plan. Flexible thinking is key to resilience. And we've got that in spades here as production. So I'm going to turn it over to our next speaker. And please meet a coordinator of elementary real world learning, Jessica Asbury. And I will be happy to answer more questions during the Q&A. But first, a video.
The Foundation created engaging, age-appropriate Agilities resources that start with our youngest learners in elementary grades and grow with them all the way through middle and high school. The online resources are easy to implement with existing initiatives and include ready-made lessons that help students become more informed career decision makers.
Introducing Agilities at the elementary level has been an absolute game changer for our district. It's allowed students to have an awareness for the skills that they bring to the table, but also given them the language to discuss that and to grow. I think that students need to be seen for who they are, but they also should be seen for the potential of what they can be, and this has provided that for our students.
Honestly, even in 5th grade, I constantly stress myself out about thinking oh my gosh, everything has to be perfect. The agility that I have helped me because I understand that I'm maybe not so good at something, and it's kind of helped me realize that's okay. Everything doesn't have to be number one, your agility.
I signed up for chess club, and in the start, I really didn't like it. But then I realized I actually do like developing others, and then I'm making more friends doing that, so I'm way more confident with my abilities that I'm getting better with.
I think what's really important about everyone having different
agilities in the classroom is it can like lead them to different futures, but also have a lot in common, and I'll be a little special in their own way.
The Agilities resources for K-12 are fully funded by the DeBruce Foundation and are free to schools, students, and families who care about building career literacy and strengthening social networks. Together, we can expand career pathways for everyone.
All right, thank you so much to the DeBruce Foundation for hosting such an important conversation. It is truly an honor to be able to share the work that we're doing in the Piper School District to empower our students to build those essential skills, even at the earliest age. So let's talk a little bit about Piper. We're transforming education in the state of Kansas. We're the only high school with wall-to-wall academies, and 100% of our students are engaged in that work. In 2024, 95% of our graduates earned at least one market value asset, and all of our seniors gained real-world experience through internships and client-connected projects. We actually had over 500 industry connections last year alone. That's what it looks like at our high school, but I think it's important for this conversation to rewind that a little bit and for us to focus in on what that feels like at the elementary level. You see, on the panel today, you have Dr. Jessica Dane, who is definitely our futurist, fearless leader, and our secondary real-world learning coordinator, Polly Vader. So if you have any questions about the Piper School District, feel free to add those to the chat. But as we were diving deeply into our North Star, the goal of looking at a portrait of a graduate and what that looks like, we struggled because that's beautiful, but we need to really dial that in. We need to make it achievable and accessible to our youngest learners. And in walks the DeBruce Foundation with their Agilities. And I will tell you, it has been profound. The beautiful thing about it is not only is it seamless, not only does it engage into our content, it's not just one more thing that we've placed on the plates of a teacher. It's actually become a central part of all of the things. So if we were to talk about that, from the lowest learners, we're talking our pre-K and kindergarten students, I think it's important that you understand we've done this through play-based learning. It's our way of taking the vocabulary of the Agilities and using in a context where students understand that their behavior and actions actually connect to things that will make them successful in the future. So imagine a lower elementary classroom, center-based. As the adults are walking around, they might notice, wow, your kitchen is really organized, or, oh, it was really caring the way you shared that. And they're able to take that vocabulary and understand that that's going to be an important component as they continue to grow into an adult and into the workforce. We've also, winter's coming, indoor recess becomes a real thing. So we've aligned our Agilities into indoor recess activities. The goal of that is we want our students to understand that Agilities are practiced not just in school, but out of school as well. And we want them to be able to connect to the feelings of joy, exploration, and human connection that take place when we dive deeply into understanding Agilities. Social emotional learning, we've embedded it because, guys, there is nothing more amazing than every student in your classroom understanding that every kid comes in diversely different and equally important. I've always preached about the importance of building relationships, but one of my aha moments post Agility implementation has been creating those relationships for educators is often an educator reflecting their lens of a student, how they perceive that student. But one of the Uno reverse that Agilities did for us is students are able to project how they want to be seen, which has been powerful for our educational environment. So if we fast forward a little bit and we talk about upper elementary, we have something in Piper called Future Ready. Our Future Ready is powerful opportunities for students to get real world learning opportunities in the context of solving a problem. So an example could be my fifth graders who just finished their first round of Future Ready projects. They are the change makers. That's their theme for the year. And that actually aligns to our high school human service academy. But as change makers, they dove deeply into their ELA and science standards to learn about natural disasters. Now, as they learned about natural disasters, of course, we invited in FEMA and the Red Cross, but an added level to that partnership was they weren't just talking to us about their careers, they were also sharing their own personal agilities and then offering advice to our students because every one of our 8 classrooms adopted a community that had been impacted by a natural disaster, and they offered us feedback. So to take you into one of these classrooms, I'm going to share about the 5th grade Kiss the Cow campaign. This class decided that they wanted to support a shelter, an animal shelter that had actually been decimated by Hurricane Helene. And in doing so, they decided, what better way to raise funds than have students vote with money for the teacher that should kiss the cow? So let's talk about that project through the lens of Agilities. We had our selling and communicating group write a commercial and perform a commercial. And while that's taking place, we have our operating objects group doing all of the producing and recording of that commercial. We have our innovators who were designing the posters that not only hung around the school, but were also posted to social media. We had our managing group that was coordinating supplies and communicating with the administrators in the building as this went on. I think that what I'd like to share is that Agilities has created this powerful environment where students are taking ownership, they're applying these skills, and the growth and confidence has been beautiful. They're learning that they're learning to lead and collaborate and innovate, and all of which are definitely traits that are important for the workforce, but also for later success in life. One new layer is we are trying agility fairs. And think of your normal career fair, but like a little bit more hands-on. So each person that comes in to present at an agility fair is going to focus in on one specific agility. So in the Piper community, we have a window manufacturing organization coming in, and they're going to do the inspecting activity as they've created a window into a puzzle. So students are going to be able to get the opportunity to put together and manufacture a window through the lens of being inspectors. Or, okay, the meteorologist conversation. Great conversation, but then the kids get in front of the green screen. They practice selling and communicating as they perform or they do a weather report. One of the things that I will say is that this is important for creating those connections between the current learning that's taking place in the classroom and then those real world applications for later on. So guys, you can tell I absolutely love this topic. I love it because I've had firsthand opportunities to see what it's doing for our students, what it's doing in our educational system. It is creating an environment where we are actually preparing our students to be future ready. But if I don't stop talking, they're going to cut my mic. So now I'm going to be handing it over to the next expert on the panel, the Chief People Officer for ASA, Angie Castera, after this video.
How are we changing the way kids learn about careers and prepare for future success? We innovate. We are innovating by creating a free suite of digital career readiness experiences used by more than 15 million kids. We advocate. We're advocating for career exploration starting in middle school, work-based learning in high school, and widespread acceptance of non-degree paths. We invest. We are investing in mission-aligned funds, early-stage firms, private companies, including those with diverse management, to increase equitable access and foster innovation in career-focused education, intentional post-secondary pathways, and workforce development. We give. We have given more than $30 million in grants to nonprofits who are pioneering career readiness initiatives for teens. We are American Student Assistance.
Hello, everyone. I'm Angie Castera, the Chief People Officer at American Student Assistance. We're a national nonprofit at the forefront of changing the way kids learn about careers and prepare for their futures through equitable access to career readiness information and experiences. Thank you for the opportunity to DeBruce Foundation to share our work, and I'm looking forward to our time together this morning. This afternoon. It's a pleasure being here. Sadly, research tells us that kids today are not adequately prepared to make informed, confident decisions about what they want to do after high school. In fact, what we know is that more than 65% of students feel they would have benefited from more career exploration in middle school or high school. Many young people today also lack opportunities to test and try and experiment with career possibilities before they graduate high school. Research shows that only 5% of internships are available exclusively to high schoolers, and 32% are available to high school or college students. At ASA, we envision a world in which all students have equitable opportunity and access to career readiness learning starting in middle school, so they will be equipped to make informed, confident decisions and navigate a path of post-secondary education and career success. In the middle school years, career exploration opportunities for kids include job shadows, work site visits, career fairs, and meet a professional experiences. All of these opportunities allow a young person to begin to uncover the wide variety of career possibilities in front of them and to begin to think about what might align with their interests. ASA partners with Apprentice Learning to provide middle schoolers with opportunities to shadow our staff from various departments. Beyond the classroom, ASA also provides access to free digital experiences like the free ASA Futurescape platform. In high school, young people need access to opportunities to test and try their interests through work-based learning programs, including internships, apprenticeships, project-based learning, and entrepreneurship education. These individual opportunities help young people understand the kinds of things they love and hate about work, uncover the way they like to work, and begin to build the social capital that is needed for long-term career success. To that end, ASA provides paid internships for high schoolers, as well as job shadowing opportunities for middle schoolers. Beyond face-to-face opportunities, ASA's free Evolve Me platform, which has helped more than 1 million teens prepare for their futures, provides access to digital career experimentation and skills-building experiences. Evolve Me includes the DeBruce Foundation's Agile Work Profiler, which is being used by thousands of kids to bridge the gap between their skill sets and fulfilling career paths. Together with the DeBruce Foundation, ASA is empowering teens with the self-awareness and confidence to chart their own course and prepare for career and economic success. The DeBruce Foundation has been an invaluable partner in ensuring that Evolve Me is truly tailored to what kids want and need. I'll be handing this over to our Agilities Ambassador, Jylon Hollinshed, right after this video.
These are the Agilities. They represent different work skills that you can grow and develop over time. Right now, you use your Agilities at school, at home, and in your community. When you're older, you'll use your Agilities in your career. Let's get to know each of the Agilities better. You can use your Agilities to help others or find creative solutions to problems and inspire those around you. Doing what you love and what you're good at makes it easier for you to make a difference. How are you gonna use your Agilities today?
Hello, everyone. My name is Jylon Hollinshed, and I'm an actor, a student, and figuring out my career path. And at the end of the day, I'm just very passionate about making our world better. You just watched a sneak peek of one of the DeBruce Foundation's newest resources. These animated videos are part of the new K-12 career literacy resources that the DeBruce Foundation is releasing today. These videos are designed to introduce elementary students to the Agilities, their work skills, in a way that's fun, age-appropriate, and affirming of their early strengths and interests. I am so proud to be a part of this project because of how much these resources and the Agilities can do for kids. They give them the language to articulate what they're good at, and it affirms their value. They can go home, and when their parents ask them about their day at school, they can say, yeah, school was awesome. We did a group project, and my teacher came up to me and told me that I was good at managing, and that made me feel good. The Agilities broaden kids' horizons and really shows them what's possible when they're passionate and when they apply themselves. I think it'll help them be more eager about learning and figuring out who they are and what they want to do with their lives and career. It wasn't too long ago when I myself was a kid in high school, second guessing myself, thinking, oh, well, I guess I'm good at this, but I don't know how that applies in a work setting, or this is fun, but I'm not sure if I can make a career out of that. I felt really uncertain and lost even about where my path was going to lead me. I wish I would have had these resources then. It was and has been a blast to be a part of such a meaningful project. Collaborating with people like the DeBruce Foundation team and leaders like you in the audience really resonates with me. The resources we've talked about today shows kids that, hey, you're not alone. You might be feeling some anxiety about where your future is leading you and what you can do with the circumstances that you've been given, but you have tools and you have people around you that deeply care for your success, and they're going to prioritize helping you. Thank you so much to everyone here for all you do to help youth build the future that they're dreaming of. I'm going to hand the mic back to Leanne for Q&A.
Thank you, Jylon, and thank you so much for all of you who are with us today. We're actually going to turn on the mics of all the panelists so that we can do a little Q&A right now. More than 900 of you registered, and you sent us some excellent questions. So we won't be able to hit on all of them, but we're going to hit on some of them today. Angie, I'm going to start with you because you really teed it up in thinking that we're seeing some of these things that are happening with youth about how they are thinking about possible career opportunities. So what new trends have you guys at ASA been observing in how students are exploring those possible career opportunities, Angie?
Thank you, Leanne. Well, at ASA, we've learned that self-led digital learning experiences beyond the classroom are not only the best way to scale equitable access to career exploration, but also to give young people the agency they crave and meet them where they are, which is usually on their mobile devices, including their smartphones. ASA's free career readiness platforms provide invaluable opportunities for young people to explore, experiment, and build skills and discover their career opportunities. Our digital experiences include Future Network, Futurescape, Next Voice, and Evolve Me.
Thank you. I think that is so important, even what you were saying, Angie, about students and their digital experience. Jessica, what are some of the best ways that you've seen to get like young students excited about this real world learning when it may feel like it's way far off in the future? Some of those digital, some of those in person. What are you seeing, Jessica, in the classroom?
You know, I'm right there. Yeah, I think kids are wired differently. You know, after so many years in education, we can say that our students are maybe significantly different than what we started teaching. I think one of the ways that is really important is to make things hands-on. Have there be a problem that they're actively working to solve. Make it so that they have a voice. I feel like that ownership that they get when they are solving a problem through their own lens. Also, like when you respect their voice, they bring something powerful to the table. They just need to understand the why, you know, and to know that they're a big part in that solution. So those are things that we've done.
Yeah. Well, Angie talked a little bit about agency, and then Jessica, as you've talked about those real opportunities, it made me think a little bit too, Kirstin, this question that came for you, which is, how can children's media help young kids with readiness for school? Jessica is talking about them being in school. Angie's talking about them having these digital experiences, which could be in school or could be out of school. We know that in that early lifetime, right? It's that stepping stone to being in school, and then that school is that stepping stone to their careers. Could you talk a little bit about that?
Sure. Yeah, for us, it's about, as I mentioned earlier, fostering curiosity, enthusiasm for learning, social skills, emotional regulation skills, all of those skills that are so important to taking on the more serious learning in school, the playful, of course, more serious learning in school. But For us, from Daniel Tiger's Neighborhood to Don Quixote to Alma's Way, which is a series about critical thinking, like you go into Alma's mind as she works through problems, and that's for slightly older audience than Donkey. So for us, it's the building blocks, starting with Daniel, moving on to Donkey, and then up to Alma's Way, and then Odd Squad and other series. As we help model those skills and give kids examples of ways that they can be critical thinkers, be problem solvers, like feel that it's okay to fail and not have all the answers, and then keep working and keep trying and modeling that persistence too as you figure things out. So for us, it's about really that inspiration to create, to think, to fail, to try, and to discover new things, and accept that mistakes, stumbles, all of that is part of the process.
Yeah, we're going to make mistakes, but we can learn from them, right? I loved it when you shared the fact that there's not there's sometimes times that Don Quixote that there's failure because it's actually what we have to deal with in real life too. And so providing those kinds of opportunities, some of ASA's digital experiences also, you don't necessarily like get to the perfect solution in one try. And so I think that that is what we're all learning about, how to meet youth where they are so that they can have some of those experiences. I know, Jessica, even as you talked about some of the experiences that your students have had, it you can grow and develop your agilities, right? You may be on the selling and communicating team, but that might not be one of your top agilities, right? But you can still grow and develop those. So Jylon, that actually leads me to one of the questions that came in for you, which is, tell us about being an agilities ambassador. How has knowing your own agilities influenced your own development? You talked about, like, I'm still trying to figure out my career right now. Tell us about that, Jylon.
Yeah, I mean, just on a personal note, being an Agilities ambassador has been a blast. It has been so much fun and just really opened me up to a lot of different opportunities within the business world. But being aware and knowing my agilities helps so much of building a roadmap of where I want to get, because it's so much easier to, when I have the language to put to my passions and my desires and my needs, um, I'm more able to communicate those things. Um, so yeah, just being able to kind of market myself and use my agilities to articulate my agilities.
I love that. A lot of times students have learning experiences in school, in their volunteer experiences, and their work experiences, but then to translate that to something that you could show on a resume or on your LinkedIn profile, or even in scholarships for which you're applying, you need that translation of that language. And I think that that is one of the things that we see happening, at least with the agilities, as well as these practice opportunities. And it's so, again, it's going to go back to building the confidence in what one does well and what they like to do, and getting that early start, right? That's why all here, and that's what we all cared about. As I got ready for this today, I thought back to my time as a high school teacher and as a high school principal, and I thought about graduating students at the end of the year, and knowing that a lot of them were, again, very confident that it was all going to work out really, really well. But I knew the next morning after we graduated that a lot of them didn't have a very clear plan for that, right? And we need to be building that scaffolding and having those more opportunities for individuals to be able to build their career literacy, build their confidence, build those networks, and have that opportunity to practice even speaking to what they do well and what they like to do, and seeing what opportunities that can provide for them in the future. So before we let our audience go, who really cares about all of these things that you guys passionately do too, I just want to ask you to speak to, each of you as a panelist, to speak to what key partnerships or collaborations have really helped advance your impact in expanding career pathways. So I'm going to start with Angie, Jessica, Kirstin, and Jylon. Angie?
Sure. ASA's award-winning free Evolve Me platform is partner-driven. meaning that the activities, the tasks that we find on the platform are made available through ASA's relationships with more than 40 of our innovative partner organizations like the DeBruce Foundation. These partners provide unique and engaging digital experiences designed to help teens learn about and experiment with the world of work, all while developing useful skills for the future. We find those hugely impactful.
Thank you. Kirstin?
I don't even know where to begin. There's so many. I want to acknowledge just broadly one of the key group of partners for any public media program is local PBS stations. Every show we make, every resource we produce, there are people on the ground in local communities at PBS stations taking those resources and bringing them into the communities, working with schools, working with libraries, working with children's museums and science centers. So our impact is great because of what local PBS stations are able to do with our content and our resources on the ground in their communities. So that's a huge one. And I just believe strongly that that inherently is helping expand career pathways because it's bringing the messages of our shows to kids in a hands-on way that might not necessarily be happening through a screen or in a different way because we know that learning builds across platforms. So that's one. But Fred Rogers Productions, we also work with a lot of organizations to expand impact and help develop future careers. We have associations like the Children's Media Association. We speak at conferences where there are pre-service educators because we want to help expand the knowledge base of what we do and bring more people into it. I am a producer, but I can't do what I do without educational experts to help guide what we're doing and subject matter experts. So that's another big one. And FRP, we also have something called the Fred Rogers Productions Writers Neighborhood, where we actually work with emerging writers and bring them in and help train them in careers as freelance writers and help them break into the industry that way. So we do it on a lot of different levels, and I could keep going, but I will throw it over to Jessica.
You know what? I think that it's such a community that we have, in our school, in their district, and what we do. It's so important that we're bringing in all of the important people in the Kansas City ecosystem, right? The DeBruce Foundation. I brought a group of teachers to the Agilities, and we were just kind of listening. And I left the first day, and I had 10 teachers in tow, and they said, Jessica, we will be doing this, which I think speaks powerfully. We also partner with the Kauffman Foundation. They have been incredible with the work that they're doing to support the professional development along the way. Our community steps up and they step forward. We're always looking for additional partnerships, any opportunity to expose kids to opportunities for a career base that they've never had exposure to is very, very powerful for us. We work with our community partners regularly. I will say, just speaking for myself, that I think a lot of industry partners want to work with high school aged kids. And I think it's really, really important that we dive into the fact that early exposure is key. And so don't ignore those elementary schools out there. We'd love to have you. So any opportunities you have to partner with a public school, it's amazing what it provides for opportunities for our students.
Thank you. And I'm going to actually twist it just a little bit for you, Jylon. Thinking about your generation and thinking about those that are coming after you, what do you think is really important for our audience who's with us today, who cares about really meeting youth where they are and helping them on this career journey that they have? What is it that you think your generation needs from us?
That is such a great question. Honestly, I think one of the more important things is to just listen. When you have younger folks that are trying to communicate something to you and maybe don't have all of the skills or aren't fully aware of exactly what they need, that's when you do have to meet them in the middle and kind of goad them along and really try and see where they're at and what it is that they need so you can help fulfill them. Having support systems around you as a student to let you know that your success is a priority is such a great motivator, and the first step in pursuing any kind of goal or anything, just outside, even outside of career literacy, the first step is to try, and the second step is to know that you can. So when we affirm kids that, hey, you can do it and you are capable of doing this, um it just, you know, it puts a rocket under their back. It gives them that boost that they need to really go out and just try.
Yeah. I know that now Fred Rogers Productions is now thinking about the next thing that'll have like a rocket involved with what they will be doing. Exactly. I love that analogy and that visual. And we're so grateful to each of you for being here with us today. I'm wondering, audience and panelists, if you heard the theme that was running through that, which is all of us are working with partners. It takes that from Jylon thinking as an individual, having those people around him to support, and his generation being affirmed in what they do, from Jessica talking about her community and the businesses that are involved, and the other philanthropic and other youth organizations that are involved to help her district propel those students into places. Kirstin had a whole list of folks, and we know that that has been the track record for how things have happened across this country, and to scale and to bring really quality programming to youth and to their families in order to be able to develop that confidence. It really does take all of us. And Angie kicked it off with like the more than 40 organizations that are helping with the Evolve Me platform, which is just one of the ways that American Student Assistance is placing resources out there. So I want to thank Kirstin of Fred Rogers Productions, Angie with American Student Assistance, Jessica from Piper School District, and Jylon, who is our very favorite Agilities ambassador and introduced you today to our animated Agilities, for being with us. And most importantly, we want to thank you as an audience. Our call to you today is to stay in there, continue building the confidence, the career literacy, and the network strength of all of those whose lives you are touching. We're thrilled that our organizations jointly can share with you resources, again, that are fully funded. That means they're free to you. They don't take a budget line. They don't take an act of legislation. They just take an act of you clicking into our pages today, and you will have access to all of these wonderful resources that our panelists have shared with you today. Now go forth, work together, stay connected with all of us, stay connected with each of you all together, because we can expand career pathways.